a lot of the LGBT community feels like they are not in a safe place to be their full selves. I know that feeling very intimately as a bi and queer person. We're not surrounding that community with love and support. No matter how you feel about that issue, it's important for you to get your voice heard. And that means going to the polls and showing up and voting for the candidates that you believe in. So I was actually born in Neuquén, Argentina. I moved to the United States when I was 2 years old. My family immigrated to the small town in Texas, and that town was very, on the surface, very integrated, but deep down inside, it still had a sort of segregation within itself. There were economic disparities that kept people separate. There were skin color disparities. There were different languages being spoken that kept people separate. And so from the time that I was very young, I noticed who I was and how I was different than the people that I went to school with, the people that I went to church with, almost everyone. I think one of the things that is still happening in the United States is that a lot of the LGBT community feels like they are not in a safe place to be their full selves. I know that feeling very intimately as a bi and queer person. It is a really horrible way to feel that you can't just step out of your door and be your fullest self. Right now, as it stands, unfortunately, we're still in a place where we're not surrounding that community with love and support. In fact, a large part of this country is kind of turning its back on it and forcing it back into the closet, so to speak. I really feel that it really is a woman's right to choose. I think abortion rights are really, really important. I know that many people feel like it's a single issue vote for them, and I can respect that. But I think no matter how you feel about that issue, it's important for you to get your voice heard. And that means going to the polls and showing up and voting for the candidates that you believe in and that you believe value your rights as a person. It's your duty to yourself. I mean, we live in a democracy, and you have that right, and it was hard-won, and you shouldn't take it for granted. Everything is at stake during these midterms. It's easy to think that you can just vote for a president and there's going to be some kind of savior that kind of comes in and fixes everything, but the reality is that it's a large system with lots of different parts all working together. And when we turn our back on our right to vote, when we decide that we don't care about all those other working parts, we're really doing ourselves and the rest of our country a disservice, because we're forgetting that there's a lot of little pieces to make this ginormous machine work to the best of its ability and to take care of us, its citizens. Oftentimes these races come down to a few hundred votes. In the last election, it was only a matter of thousands of votes that made the difference of electing those who represent our interests and values and those who don't. The stakes are too high. Research the candidates and the issues in your area and join me by voting in the midterms on November 6th. Midterms matter. Please vote.